Hi everybody, this is Robin, YouTube Craze Crafter, and I've been asked to make a detailed video of my wedding cake card holder that I submitted for the Cricut contest back in January. So I'm going to do the best I can at giving you detailed instructions on how to make this. First I want to let you know about the colors and papers I used. Now I had this taken apart and put it away, so I had to put it back together. So, and I did not use any permanent adhesive on some of this, so I could take it apart, and I thought if I needed to put some permanent on, it's easier to put it on than try to take it off. So I'm going to suggest that you use sticky strip and more permanent adhesive on some parts of this. So, but the paper I used, the brown on the cake and the board is Cricut Chestnut. The flowers are Brazil Bling cardstock, and Glamour, Glitz, and Sparkle are the three blues, and the pink on the billboard and the card is called In Pink. The leaves are just a green pearl fabric that I got at Walmart somewhere along the line. They don't sell it anymore, and I used the home decor. I used the home decor on the leaves because I just wanted real simple leaves. I didn't want anything cut out for free. So I used that. I used the Sweethearts Cricut cartridge, and I used that on the billboard, what I call it, and the card. On the swirl here, I used that too, but I used a part of a cutout, and I'll show you that in detail later. The Sweet Treats cartridge, I used the flowers. I used part of a flower, and then I used scallop on the edges here. Okay, details. Okay, these are paper mache boxes I bought at Hobby Lobby, or round paper mache boxes anywhere you want to go. You can do it in square if you want. If you want to do it in heart, you can. Doesn't matter. But the top one is measuring 8 inches. This middle one is, we'll say closer to 10.5 inches. And then this guy is measuring in at about 13. The paper, what you want to do is you want to use some glue, but you also want to use a permanent adhesive that I've discovered, because you want to get these edges as secure as possible. And on this one, I didn't use any adhesive. And you're going to have to use, of course, 2 pieces of paper on this because it measures at 13.5. So I got as much of one piece of paper. I got it on as much as I could on one piece of paper. And then you'll want it, this corner piece here, make sure it's in the back as much as you can. So turn this upside down. Trace the paper. If you want to trace like a sample paper too, you can. And then trace the paper and cut your paper out, and then adhere it to, you want to adhere the top. Now, excuse me, don't adhere it to the top yet, because you want to get your sides cut, and you want to do those first. So you want to measure this as close to as you possibly can to the exact measurement, and cut the paper. Now this bottom one, you're going to have to use 2 and about 1/3 of a piece of paper. And learn from my mistake, okay, I thought it would be better to put this in the back to hide it. And see here, you can see why I'm saying to use tape on the ends, because I didn't want to get very close with the glue like I did here and make a mess with it. So use tape so it is stuck. Take this piece, this is why I want you to do the sides first. Take this piece and make sure this is the piece where your flowers would cover, and cover that real well so you don't have an ugly piece in the back, okay? And then you want, that way you'd only have one nice seam covering, because you're going to cover that one seam. You're going to overlap it a little bit, and you're going to use permanent adhesive to fold that down. Okay? Now, then you want to put your top on. Well, you know, you might want to paint the edges of this a color that will match as close as you can. That way, if it's not going to cover it all the way, that will. And then adhere your top down. And make sure that you get this back of this as close as you can. I don't know if I got too much light going on here or not. To the back, okay? So when you put the round piece down, you don't see any of that, of the two pieces on top, okay? So you want to repeat that. Your second one, you want to turn it over, trace that, and cut it. That one you should only need one piece, okay? Now on your, this second piece, you also want to measure it as close as you can. Cut it with your paper cutter, whichever kind you like to use. This one you'll need almost two to wrap it around, and make sure you overlap the ends and put several strips of some sort of adhesive, permanent adhesive, and then use glue, okay? I don't know if you don't want to use a fast drying glue on these, because it's going to take you a minute to get it lined up good, okay? Third piece. And I'm sorry, but okay. Same thing there again. Turn this piece over, trace it, cut out your top piece, and then just measure the height on that one, cut it out, and wrap it around, adhesive, permanent adhesive on the end. Put this down, then your top piece down, and remember to paint the edges, because that's what I did. Now this is the back, so it's not showing as much, but I cut it a little short, but since I painted that edge, you really can't see it. Okay? Now, okay, so that is on cutting the paper. If you have any questions on that, oops, again, just let me know, and I'll try to answer them as good as I can if I'm not now. Thanks, and stay tuned for part 2.